Hello, ladies and gentlemen, metalheads all over the world, and welcome to yet another episode of the Horsemen Podcast. Yeah, a quick one. After the last episode we did, we're back with another one, and this time we are ecstatic to have with us guitar shredlord himself, Sonny Lombardozzi from Arise from Worms, formerly Incantation. And holy shit, I can't believe we got him on this quick. So, how's it going, Sonny?
Oh no, man, that was cool, man. Yeah, as soon as you sent me a message, I just like, all right, I got to meet this guy.
Yeah, so for those watching that aren't aware, Sonny here, like I said, formerly of Incantation, now Arise from Worms, which I recently reviewed the new album, and holy shit, it's killer. Him and Steve Tucker, Flo Monnier, Derek Sherinian, it's like,
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah,
holy fuck. Like, fuck.
I sent everybody has seen it, that's involved in the project and stuff. They all loved it, So we've been getting some pretty phenomenal reviews, I mean, here and there you get some negative stuff or something like that, but
it's usually people it deathcore.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you a deathcore band or list. I couldn't tell you. I was just like deathcore. I don't know what that is. It's just
Whitechapel, kind of.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Okay,
I mean,
okay.
I would say as of lately, they've been kind of stepping away a little bit from that deathcore.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, but that's a whole other
just always. Yeah, I just call it extreme music. There's so many names, man. I get lost.
Yeah.
I just people go, what's the Arise stuff? It's just extreme music, man. That's all I can say. And then if
it's beautiful,
if you want to count to 7 or 9 or 3 or 11, then this is for you. If you don't want to count to that, it's not for you.
No, right? Indeed not. Oh, good, but yeah. So basically, son, we always treat these episodes not so much interview, even though we do ask questions. We always treat it like as if we're just talking shop backstage at a show. Some capacity, which is always fun. I mean, hell, the shirt I'm wearing, Exciter. I got to meet these guys a couple of years ago, including our good buddy, our dude, our dog, our diggity doink, Daniel DK, fellow guitar maestro himself.
All right.
And fucking awesome guy, and has become a.
We gotta bring him back.
I know
it's been a long time.
I know we do, but he is so busy filling in Midnight Live, which is insane. That he's got that gig right now. I digress. But actually, interesting place to start this, Sonny, because you are a shredlord yourself. I remember a few years ago watching podcast you did with our good buddies from Brawls of Metal with Josh and John, and talking about nerding out about guitar and all that. One thing I didn't quite pick up was, no pun intended, because of guitar, but like what brand of guitars do you?
Halo guitars.
Oh, I never heard of that brand actually.
Yeah, they're out of California.
Yeah.
If you could.
Wow.
Ooh.
Shiny.
Those are beauties.
This is my red one. I did most of the touring with Incan with this one here, and it has a real thin neck on it.
With the scalloped frets.
Oh yeah, scalloped frets, and then the black one here I did. This was the main guy.
Oh.
Within Can, but it didn't have the green pickups in it. They probably wouldn't allow me to have green pickups, but you can see the scallops
there. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, I never heard of Halo guitars. Like, of course, like when it comes to guitar manufacturers, there's the big one, like Epiphone, Gibson, Jackson, Ibanez.
Yeah.
I met, well, hold on. Here's the one in the videos. You've probably seen this one here.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Ooh, hell yeah.
That is a beauty.
Oh, yeah. It's all hand carved, and that's coming up in there's a playthrough video of 9 Walls coming up.
Oh, wow. Sweet.
And that I use that guitar in that video all the way through.
Oh god, that is a beauty. It reminds me if you could tear up the skin of a xenomorph and put it on the fucking thing.
Or that or a dragon.
Yeah, I could almost picture Carl Sanders playing a guitar like that.
Yeah, well, I had that. I've had this for quite a long time, and it was actually built for. There was a remake of the Evil Dead movie. It didn't do too well. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
Yeah.
Which one? Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead Burn.
It was kind of, all I know was the first remake. It was like a really
2013. It was 2013.
Evil Dead. Evil Dead.
So
yeah.
It's technically the Evil Dead guitar, that we call it, but I tried playing that with Incan and everything, and they just weren't fucking having it,
Nah.
Like, oh, it's cool as fuck, bro, but man, you can't take that on stage.
Right.
Probably afraid it would get messed up somehow, and they were like, "We don't want this guitar ruined. It's too pretty."
Yeah, probably if I was flying with it and somebody opened up the case and seen it in there, it definitely would probably come up missing.
God, yeah. I can't imagine TSA being the way they are.
Oh god, because I can imagine you playing the guitar and you somehow awaken the Evil Dead with just the fucking tone play. Cante, cara. And then you have everyone like in the fucking crowd like, you have awakened us from our eternal slumber.
Well, that was
that
was their intro for years. Was the beginning of I think Evil Dead, the second one. I think it was.
Yeah. Dead by Dawn. That's what it was.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Dead by Dawn.
Had the horse on the wall, and he cut his girlfriend up with the chainsaw and all that stuff.
Your fire saw. Suck this.
Oh shit! So yeah, but they used that intro for the longest time, and they refused to let me play that guitar on stage with them. So even that guitar with the green pickups, I had to change the pickups, put white pickups in it at the time, and they just end up turning like yellow from years of touring and sweat, and no matter how much you clean it, it just got
stained
shattered
for life.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, many warrior battles.
Well, actually, speaking of Incantation, you were on Sect of Vile Divinities, and we had Chuck Sherwood from Incantation on the last episode. How did you come into contact with the band? Did you contact them, or did they contact you? And what was the process behind it? Did you all have a fun time?
I'm actually on 5 albums. I've done 5.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's like session stuff.
Yeah, 5 full-length albums. Well, I did, what's this backtrack real quick? I did the Blasphemy tour, the album Blasphemy.
Mm-hmm.
I did that tour. I was with them for a couple of years there. I left to go to become a music school teacher. And then I did that for 11 years. And then the bass player, Joey Lombard, he passed away. And me and him were really close touring buddies. So they contacted me, hey, funerals, whatever. So we reconnected there. And then they were getting ready to record Dirges, I think.
Dirges of Elysium, yep.
Yeah. Yep. And they were having a problem with the guitar player in that band, Alex. So I came in. I actually recorded half of that album as me on those songs. All the guitars, leads, guitars, harmonies, everything. People don't even really know that. And then did a lot of touring for that. And then we went, after that was...
Profane Nexus.
Yep, with Rights of the Locust. Now, I recorded 80-90% of that album is all me playing. And people don't know that either. I didn't get proper credit for it that I thought I should have. So we did massive touring with that. And then I think the 25-year anniversary came out, and there's 4 or 5 studio songs on that. And I did all the recording of those songs too. They redid Profane Next, or no, I'm sorry.
Sect of Vile Divinities.
No. It's an older song. We redid it, and I did a really cool version of the solo to it. Profanation, I think it's called. It's off the first album. I can't remember the name of the song.
Yeah,
but Yeah, so I did the 4 or 5 studio songs there. Then we did Sect of Vile Divinity, which is like, I did 90% of that album, man, you know. And it's funny, you know, one guy says, well, you know, you didn't get credited for a lot of those albums. I mean, dude, I have all the demos, all the scratch tracks. I have everything for all those albums still. You know what I mean? And I know how Sect of Vile Divinity originally sounded. A lot got deleted. You know what I mean? And I was surprised of what they did keep. You know what I mean? I was actually shocked. But yeah, I finished recording that. We did the Morbid Angel tour, and then got an email on Christmas that I was out of the band, and that was it. I haven't talked to them guys since. So
that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle came up to me. I was guitar teching for Morbid Angel, and we talked briefly or something like that, you know. But the other guys, I haven't talked to, and to be honest with you, I don't care to talk to them, honestly. It's kind of a really shitty thing, you know, type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just posted a thing that I was too good for the band, and that's why I was fired. So I never heard of anybody getting fired for being too good.
Well, I mean, there was the classic. Well, there was the classic story back when Metallica was trying to audition for replace Cliff Burton, and Les Claypool came in, and they were flat out like, he was just too good. He was just too good for us. We can't. I don't think it would mesh well, so we'll just have to pass. Which I get, because Les Claypool's a fucking bass lord, so it's like,
yeah,
I couldn't imagine.
You know, I went to Kyle's. Kyle had a studio, and he was gonna run the Pro Tools session while I played. I says, listen, I want to play. I don't want to run Pro Tools. You run it while I play. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. So we scheduled a date or something like that. So he calls me up maybe a week before I'm supposed to come out to Columbus to record. He goes, hey, you all ready? I go, oh, God. I was like, dude, I don't know. I got to go over all this tab and all this stuff. I says, I can't get a hold of anybody for 3.5 months. And he goes, what are you talking about? I was like, man, John ain't returning none of my phone calls, emails, nothing. What? For real? Holy shit, blah, blah. So, he goes, well, maybe he's busy. I was like, dude, nobody's that busy when you're fucking supposed to be bros in the band, or, you know, you're in a band and you're getting ready to record an album. So I knew right then and there I was done. You know what I mean? I was like, this is just unbelievably disrespectful. You know what I mean? And I even told Kyle, I was like, well, I says, dude, if I was a piece of ass and I was texting him, he'd answer. He says, you know what I mean? And he goes, probably right. So
that's funny.
So we went into the studio. That Sect of Vile Divinity album is probably the first Incantation album that's actually put in key, and like E harmonic minor or something like that.
Right.
And not that I changed the songs. I just I had ideas that I wanted to present, to kind of just move some notes around. You know what I mean? To make it a little more like on Black Fathom's Fire, you know what I mean? In the beginning, Chuck had 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and I was like, man, I got something close to that, but it's 11 8, you know. So it was like, you know, and it just went with the drums so much more, you know. But yeah, dude, they probably don't even know it, honestly. The notes that I changed and everything, you know. And it's not like I said I didn't change their ideas. I just kind of went, instead of E, I just went E flat. You know what I mean? Right. Or a B, I did a B flat.
Yeah.
You know, just to make it a little more Egyptian sounding or more, you know, cool. But apparently, from what I was told, you know, by management and Relapse and everything, that was their biggest selling album of their career. You know?
Really?
And I says, wow. I says, great. I didn't get no check.
Damn.
You know, dude, I had to buy my own album. I bought that album. I didn't even get a free fucking copy. I bought it. You know what I mean? I says, tell me that ain't fucked up.
Yeah.
The sad reality of the music business, man.
Yeah.
In some instances.
Yeah, and I didn't even know the album cover, right? So somebody sent me a picture of it, and I go, dude, I swear to God this happened. He sent it to me. I go, oh, dude, what's that? A new Aquaman 2 movie coming out? And he goes, what are you talking about? And I go, it looks like Aquaman or something, like something, like a movie poster. He goes, no, dude, that's the album that came out. And I was like, I didn't even know the artwork. Yeah, I didn't even know.
That's gotta be Incantation as a whole. It's like, what the hell am I even looking at?
This looks like something out of Silent Hill, or like the main villain from Silent Hill, like his asshole's gaping, or what? I don't know what's happening.
What Pyramid Man? Fucking naked, carrying the fucking sword instead of his sword is fucking dick.
And why does one album cover look like an angel being impaled by Twizzlers?
Yeah, so that's the whole, the whole gist of it, but that's just shit happens. But if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have put out this record. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have jammed with Flo or Steve or even thought of having Derek doing keyboard stuff. It just never would have happened. And I wanted to do a solo album for years, just to get all that shred shit out of my system, because Incan wasn't about that. So
right.
But it just how me and Steve really started talking was like, dude, I was loading the trailer by myself in the fucking rain after a gig, and Steve was coming out right after Morbid played, and he goes, bro, why the fuck are you loading a fucking trailer by yourself in the fucking rain, dude? He goes, you should be in there fucking toasting beers and having pictures. And I stood there, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, you're right, and dude, it was pouring rain, and we had this stupid little band app that, if you needed something, you would text the app. So I'm texting all these guys. I'm like, dude, it's pouring rain. We got 5150 PV tube heads sitting outside in the rain. I could only fucking move so fucking quick. I can't even believe that all the gear didn't get fucking ruined.
That's
Jesus.
But so I mean, when we talked about that album, I mean, dude, originally the album was supposed to be an instrumental album, and Steve was just going to do a couple songs. So when you hear like, especially Forgotten Kings, and then the instrumental version of it, the instrumental version was done before Forgotten Kings. So Steve was listening to it, and he goes, dude, I hear some vocal lines there. I'm like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? Well, okay, we'll send you all the tracks over. So he started laying vocal lines, but then we were like, well, what are we going to do with all this extra shit? You know what I mean?
Right.
And we didn't want to erase it or take it away, so we just took bits and pieces out of Forgotten Kings, and then we're like, all right, let's make it instrumental on there, and then that's what we did with the extra harmonies and solos and stuff like that, But I mean, that's like some of the parts, it's kind of doing a harmony lead, and he's singing over it. You know what I mean? And we were gonna pull that out, and then Steve was like, "No, dude, leave that in. I like that." So we just kind of let everything naturally go, build itself, So that's the whole gist of that.
Yeah, because I was talking to Levi early before everyone else started joining in, because I just got done listening to the new Rise from Worms album, and I can totally hear what you're saying. Like, it sounds like the whole album is going to be instrumental, and it didn't sound like there was going to be a whole lot of vocals. But because Steve sings on what, like 3 songs maximum, I think.
Well, there's 2 instrumentals. Like
2 instrumentals, and then there's 8 songs, 9 songs.
Okay.
9 songs on the hard copy, 8 on the stream.
Okay.
And then the 9th song that's on the hard copies, that's just violin and cello and guitar instrumental.
Oh,
gotcha. Classical piece.
My cup of tea.
Right.
Maybe not Nick's cup of tea, because he's very picky about symphonic stuff. But we love him anyway. But actually, speaking of guitar players, because like I remember a while back, I was on a Thrall stream talking with Treadlord Joe, a.k.a. fellow paisan.
Oh, yeah.
Never forget that.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, because just over a month ago, I was visiting guys. I hung out with Nick and Joe the whole time, and oh my god, I swear, Joe, you almost make me piss my pants every time we...
Yeah, when they said that, fellow paisan, and they go, get to meet Mo, you know what I mean? Dude, I laughed so hard when I seen that, right?
Because he does it for you.
Yeah, and then we were talking through Messenger, so he goes, "Dude, we thought you were gonna be pissed off." I was like, "No, I thought it was the funniest fucking thing in the world, dude." You know?
Yeah, but yeah, I was on a stream with them a few months ago before we met up in person again. And Joe and we were talking back and forth about shredders and like awesome guitarists, and we kept debating over between Yngwie and John Petrucci because, like, I acknowledge Yngwie, obviously. I mean, he's great in his own right, but if you were to ask me who's better between John Petrucci, I'm always in the John Petrucci camp just for the simple fact he's cleaner when he does his
right.
But
yeah.
Well, you do got to take into consideration that Yngwie broke his hands numerous times.
That's true.
And he did go into that coma that almost fucking killed him, too. So,
I would say, I mean, Yngwie started the neoclassical shred thing because none of that was out back then. You know what I mean? When that first album came out. And then all the shrapnel guys started coming out, you know, Becker and Marty Friedman and, you know, all those shred guys. And then, you know, obviously Dream Theater came in a little bit later. But I know what you mean. It's cleaner. It's tighter. The production's, you know,
a little more polished.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I followed Yngwie all the way up to, I think, the Attack album. And then I didn't buy anything after that. It started getting... The recordings started getting really noisy, and the songs were just kind of like. Right when he started singing, I think, is when I.
Oh God! Do not get me started on Yngwie singing.
No,
it sounds like a cat getting.
Yeah.
It literally sounds like a cat that's getting fucked at 3 o'clock in the morning.
We're swinging a cat by the tail like Axl Rose.
Oh my God!
But you know, I mean, there's a lot of Dream Theater stuff that I love, but there's a lot of stuff I don't like. You know, I mean, I'm not into any of the slow songs at all. You know, I'll listen to it. You know what I mean? But I don't. You know, we went and seen them in Cleveland not too long ago, and they played a lot of slow tunes. I mean, dude, the whole audience was like,
"Yeah, where's the mid tempo? Where's the thrashy stuff?"
Yeah.
Oh my God! I would have loved to see Dream Theater in the 90s, in the 2000s, in their prime.
Well, I seen them on the Awake tour, and the Awake tour actually had Derek Sherinian was doing keyboards because that Kevin guy didn't do the tour. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that was my first time seeing Sherinian there, you know what I mean? Because he was doing that tour. But, you know, that's when they had, you know, the Wake album where it had that one riff that was like,
oh, yeah, the mirror.
Yeah, you know, the whole audience was like, oh my God, this is fucking killer. They played all their heavy shit, maybe one ballad. You know what I mean?
Probably Silent Man.
Oh, that might be it.
Space Oddity.
Yeah. It was like acoustic thing, but the whole audience was the same thing.
No.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
And then they got done playing that, and they just all started playing heavier stuff, you know, so.
Well, you gotta take the '90s. You gotta take '90s into consideration. If you weren't Ozzy, Pantera, Metallica, you weren't doing shit at a concert, basically, when it comes to like an audience, because it's like, okay, cool, you're doing this thing. Okay, can we just have Dimebag just come onto the stage, and here comes Phil Ensemble and everything like that, you know?
Well, they actually had an instrumental that they played. I remember because it was Slayer. It was a Pantera song and another song. I can't remember what it was, but they mixed them all together and did a big instrumental jam with it. That was fucking cool. You know,
Nice.
I think it was Raiden Blood, maybe it might have been or something. But it was cool, you know, because you're watching Dream Theater play these, you know, these type of songs, you know. But it was clean. I'll tell you that.
Right.
I mean, who could forget when they did that random club gig playing all of Master of Puppets in its entirety? And then, of course, Damage Inc. having Barney from Napalm Death join them to do the vocals.
Oh,
God.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's still one of the most bizarre but most badass collaborations live-wise in metal, that Barney from Napalm Death gets on stage with Dream Theater to cover Metallica. Like, doesn't get more badass than that.
It kind of shows you that, like, all these musicians, we're all in the same pot.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, if you see, here's Napalm Death with Dream Theater, and they're covering tunes, and it's like Shrinian playing on our album. He's this. Even when Symphony X was hearing some of the tracks, I was letting them hear some of the tracks. They're like, dude, this is really fucking heavy for him. You know what I mean? We didn't expect this at all. So but it just shows you, it's music, it's entertainment, it's music, man. It's just people label stuff too much. It just or they don't even give it a chance. They hear like a little clip of it. Oh, that sucks. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, did you even hear like a couple bars?
Yeah, probably those same people calling it deathcore again. Probably just like,
there's
this one chug. Boo, you're a deathcore band. Fuck off.
Stop it. It was like tons of deathcore comments. I was like,
I was reading through a few of those, and I'm like, what the hell are these people smoking?
Oh man, or the AI comments on the artwork. I was like, dude, that's all.
No, don't get me started on AI artwork.
With pencil. He did it all by pencil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
well, whenever you have a band logo that's kind of etched like that, a lot of people are going to assume, like, for example, when I was first listening to Black Dahlia Murder, and this was around COVID time, I was still in high school at this point, I thought they were a deathcore band at first because of the name of the logo, and at first I didn't know that they were a metalhead band. I legit thought they were a deathcore band. I wasn't into that style yet. But as the years have gone on, it's like, okay, I don't know what I was thinking at the time. And they're fucking great and all that stuff. But if you look at the logo and it's like, you kind of assume things before you actually listen
misleading
to it.
At first. Like they
I read you.
Yeah.
They misled you with the logo, you child. But getting back to go ahead.
With that logo, when the guy who did it, a friend of mine, he was like, well, what do you want? I was like, I kind of want something like Behemoth, dude. You know what I mean? And he was like, for real? And I was like, yeah. So he started throwing those type of ideas at me, and I was like, yeah, we're on the right path right there. That's what it is, because for the longest time, people are just like, dude, is this going to be like a blackened death metal thing? And I was like, blackened death metal? I was like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. And then it was like, who was it? Was on the tour bus with him. He was trying to explain it to me. His name's Helmet or something. Not Belphegor.
Oh yeah.
Belphegor. We were on tour with him. And he's going, dude, it's death. And I was like, yeah, it's death metal. Whatever. It's not called death metal anymore. It's blackened death metal, brother. And I was like, blackened death metal? I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I was like, all right, well, I guess I missed it by a couple.
We'll go along with this then.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, yeah, the whole like sub genre thing can get a little nuts. Like just an inside thing with the three of us. Our buddy Hunter, who lives over in BC, Canada, who cool guy, cool kid, and all. And we get at him all the time because he's a big fan of the so-called horror metal bands like Blasphemy,
don't get
Diocletian, Revenge, Conqueror, Archcode, all those kind of bands.
Titan Blood's another one.
Titan Blood to a degree, but yeah, it's like I hear like, what the fuck is war metal? Like the way I interpreted like Blasphemy, I'm like, this is just essentially an extreme metal blender of like black metal, death metal, and grindcore.
All right,
and then like
raw
Titan
black
Blood.
metal.
Yeah, and then Titan Blood, that's like just blackened death metal, but recorded like it was from Norway or something like that. Like that super raw lo-fi synth.
See, that's why I always just said it's just, people ask me it's just extreme music.
Yeah.
I just cut out all of that, man. I mean, even when Meshuggah came out, all of a sudden,
Gent.
to me, I was just like, yeah, man, of Genton. I was just like, Genton. I was just like,
they're more prog thrash.
I was like,
I always,
like,
I always
Hit
say,
metalcore.
I always say the whole gent thing. It's not a genre. It's just prog metal with 8-string guitars.
all right.
That's the way I look at it.
I used to just say, yeah, you sound like Meshuggah.
Yeah. Just say you sound like Meshuggah in terms of riffs, but you can take it into different places. I mean, look at a band like Tesseract doing basically the Meshuggah chug and groove, but adding more melody and clean vocals and atmosphere. Like, you can obviously take stuff from the godfathers of prog metal, like a Dream or a Meshuggah, Strike Face Warning, and do a lot of different things with it. I mean, hell, even with Arise from Worms, it's like, yeah, it's technical death metal, but I would also say it's progressive death metal because I hear a lot of that, like, old school prog jazz fusion stuff in there too.
Yeah.
It's like I can definitely tell, like, there's a line between, like, say, bands like Watchtower or even like the more complicated Rush stuff in with what you was doing with a lot of riff structure and the songwriting, the way it was pieced together.
Neoclassical elements.
And the neoclassical aspects too.
I got some moments of Cynic off of the
a bit of Atheist too. Atheist a bit of Nocturnus.
A little bit,
so much.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, there's a lot going on, but it flows really, really, really well.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, that's cool.
Unintentionally, speaking of flow, how did you manage to get Flo Monet to join your band? Because I feel like that guy does not sleep.
He seemingly does not sleep.
Well, that was when me and Steve were talking. You know, we were like, "Well, who are we gonna get to do drums?" And he's the one that mentioned Flo. You know, so I contacted Flo just through Messenger, and I says, "Hey, I'm working on some tunes, and you know, you'd be interested." And he goes, "Well, send me the track." So I had the click track, and I had I think it was Access 1 and 2, and I can't remember the other song on the EP. I think Dallas did some guest vocals on the song. I can't remember the name of the song, but I had those 3 and I sent them to him and he liked it. So he goes, "Well, I want to record at my studio up here in Canada." I says, "Okay," you know, and I did all the guitar tracks right here in this room. And then Steve finally got his studio together. So that's how the EP came, you know, together, you know what I mean? Right. So, and we put that out on it was a real shitty label, man. Just totally got screwed on that. But, I mean, we didn't even get copies of the albums or nothing. It was, you know, it was right in the, it was right in the, as I even said that, it was right in the contract. Copies for the musicians, you know what I mean? We need copies, you know? And, but it got put out. I think Napalm Records started distroing it out over in Europe, I think, and it actually took off, and I didn't know it. You know what I mean? How much of an impact it made, and you know, people are having a hard time finding all the albums, and then people from like Thailand and Japan and stuff were sending pictures of the album in, and they got it over there, and I was like, "How the fuck did you guys get that album over there?" You know what I mean?
It's like, I don't even have my copy yet, damn it.
I didn't at the time. I didn't even have a fucking copy of it. Someone from Tokyo is sending me, you know, a picture with the vinyl, you know, and I was like, man, what the fuck? But it was cool, but at the time it was still kind of like, what the fuck?
Like, come on.
Right.
Yeah, so it took off really well that we ended up finding out about, and then it was actually Steve said, "Hey, do you got any more material?" And I says, "Actually, I do," because at the time with the pandemic going on and everybody's touring and all that stuff, we just ran out of time to record. You know what I mean? With everybody's schedule.
Yeah.
And so I started just writing the next set of songs and sent them the flow again. And then, you know, Steve had to have drums to record his stuff to get into it. He goes, "I can't record with a click and guitar, man. It's just the feeling's just not there for him." And he wanted to really experiment this time, he said, with double tracking vocals and doing harmonies. And, you know, he wanted to really experiment on this one a little bit more. So I was like, "Dude, do whatever." I told everybody, do what you want to do. I kept everything. I didn't delete anything. I didn't change anything. I didn't say anything like, "Hey, can you do this here?" or anything. I was like, just do what you want to do, and that's how the songs came out. You know what I mean? I mean, I did send some videos to Flo of like some air drums. You know, the copy like scales and stuff like that, which he said it just helped him out, which worked out perfectly. So, but that was it. But actually, that 9 Walls, most of that, and the middle section of Forgotten Kings, that was all written with the Philharmonic. It was all cello and violin, so that's why it has that stoppy start-go feel to it. You know, that so next time you listen to those songs, just imagine the orchestra playing that.
Right.
And it'll totally come out. You know what I mean? So, but even the scale work and everything on 9 Walls and everything, that was all written on violin and stuff. And then the conductor that I reconnected with after years, we went to music school way back in the day. And he was just like, well, he goes, let me hear this stuff. And I said, I let him to it, you know. He's listening. And he goes, man, I don't listen to this kind of music, but can I hear it again? I said, oh, okay. And he goes, I think you got something there, because if I don't listen to this style of music and I say, can I hear it again because it's interesting, you got something, you know? So I was like, oh, cool, thanks, you know? So, but yeah, it was crazy. It's funny. I don't know if I told you or not, we're actually recording the song that didn't get done for Rise from Worms. That's all orchestra. So I'll send you. We just finished mixing it and everything, but I'll send it to you when we hang up here. But it's very nice. You're gonna hear it once you hear those French horns come in, dude. Everybody that's heard it is just like, dude, sounds like fucking co-dance.
He's coming to chop your fucking head off.
Yeah, you'll be able to hear the violin.
Trumpets of war.
It was totally written on guitar, the violin part, but you'll hear it as soon as you start hearing the violin go. You know.
Yeah. But
it was.
That sort of reminded me when Swallow Sun released Moonflowers, but they released the orchestral version first. That's kind of a sneak preview to the actual album. So when you go back into the orchestra, listen to the original, I'm like, okay, now I see like the similarities and the little differences there. So it's kind of cool that people do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's definitely cool stuff, man.
But actually, you brought up Becker and Marty, and we all know about when they were in Cacophony together.
Oh yeah, I got my shirt on.
Right there. How appropriate. How appropriate. But we always look at them as like a shred duo of masters right there. And I would say if I could pick a modern shredder that's going strong right now, that I could see you doing some awesome stuff with, and like a duo kind of thing. Granted, if this guy even has time, because good lord, it's like we were talking about with Flo, we think he never sleeps. This guy I'm about to bring up seemingly never sleeps or never stops touring.
I know what you're talking about.
Phil Tougas.
Yep, I knew it.
Yeah, because Phil Tougas. He's
you have to send me his link.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player. He plays in Feelist, First Fragment, Worm currently.
Oh, wait a minute. What was the one band?
Worm.
Oh, not the before that.
Oh, First Fragment.
Yeah. Okay, I know them. Okay.
Yeah, he's the lead player in that band. Well, he was on their last album. But yeah, he's a younger guy. Like, I think he's a few years older than me, but the dude seemingly never sleeps himself, and he's from Quebec, but lives sometimes in Florida.
That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
But yeah, he's killing it right now. Like, this year has been like the year of Phil Tougas, because his uncles and father released an album from their own band called Deep, which was recorded back in '86, but wasn't released till now. And then, of course, he has a band called Exul, which is like progressive doom metal. Like, if you were to take like Fate's Warning and Candlemass and mash them together, he's playing there. The new Worm album, Necropalace, which is still fucking phenomenal.
Oh god, so good.
Now that band or that album, Sonny, you're gonna think, holy crap, what is happening here? It's like you're mixing classical with black metal with death metal. With
I think I heard a song off of it. Yeah,
and he is shredding on top of this slow, lurching, vampiric gothic stuff. And I think he would be a great matchup for you if you two were to ever do like a one-off like duo project, kind of like a modern day Cacophony, because like I hear some like Marty Friedman in his playing, and funny enough, Marty played on the new Worm album, dueling back and forth with Phil. So I think you two would have a really nice like dueling
I liked his playing in that first what is it? First what?
Fragment.
Okay.
Fragment.
Because when I first heard that band, I was still in Incan, and I heard them, and then I heard the band. They're from Canada too, I think. Archfire. Okay.
Archfire.
And I heard those guys, and I was like, man, I want to be doing that type of stuff. And I can't remember, what was it? The other band, Obscura, maybe?
Yeah, Obscura.
Okay. Yeah. I can't remember the name of the album that came out, but I heard that, and he had really young players in the band too, in that band there. And I was like, man, I like this stuff. It's more musical for me. You know what I mean? Or more my cup of tea than Incan was, because I was just, like I said before, man, Incan was damn near a cover band for me. It was just like, I was just getting bored so bad because it just wasn't my cup of tea, you know what I mean, at the time, and especially when those bands were all coming out,
Right.
And, and I'm hearing all this more musical stuff. I was like, dude, I just way more into those type of bands than ever, but I'm totally, they're probably not new now, but to me they're new, you know what I mean? But I follow a lot of those bands, man. I dig all of them, and dude, anything I can get my hands on that has smoking bass, guitar, drums, keyboards, a triangle, a tambourine, I'll fucking buy it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, definitely with that new Worm album, Necropalace, you basically get all that. Granted, like, again, cool. On top of this, like, slow death doom, black metal hybrid of all sorts of stuff. Best way I would describe that album for you in terms of, like, what bands to compare to, like, old Dimmu Borgir in terms of, like, that symphonic grand black metal
and
style.
Emperor, too.
And Emperor as well, but also, like, bands like Disembowelment, that, like, slow, lurching, heavy death doom style. Like Asphyx a little bit, like on the doomier side. Hooded Menace, but also bringing in some like later death in terms of some of the harmonies and Catatonia would be another one. Like just so much wrapped up into that album. And with Phil's playing, like how he's able to make everything shreddy but also very tasteful is really, really something. And I can definitely hear, like, in my mind, if you and him were to ever meet up and do like a one-off instrumental project, kind of like a Cacophony of today, I can already picture that would be like a musical orgasm of epic proportions.
Jesus Christ.
Well, maybe I'll send him a message.
Yeah, like
time.
Eventually we're gonna have him on this show at some point because I would love to pick his brain about guitar as well.
Cool.
So cool. That would be pretty.
Yeah, I like just playing. Yeah, I totally dug it. I was definitely into it.
Yeah.
Definitely,
yeah, it's like you would be Becker, he'd be Friedman, if that were the case. So that would be really fucking sweet.
Well, I'm starting to get a little slow in my old age here, man.
Right.
It's like you got these kids coming up who's also shredding that. You're like, man, I need to play like this now.
Yeah, it's they're exposed to things a lot sooner. You know what I mean? Than my era. My era, you had to dig for it. Because dude, nobody knew what sweep picking was until Racer X came out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
With Paul Gilbert with those albums.
Yep.
I mean, nobody knew like the string skipping or that card in the bicycle tire. With the arpeggios. I mean, nobody was doing that back then. I remember a friend of mine, he went out to GIT. He was going to go to music school. He goes, go check this Racer X band out. Nobody heard of him. And we started hearing those really crazy arpeggios. We were like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? So that started, everybody was sweeping before that. And it's funny because all those bands we were just talking about and everything, they all do that Paul Gilbert arpeggio.
There you go.
Every time I see him do it, I'm like, oh, there's the Paul. You know what I mean? But most people don't know where it came from,
Right.
You know?
And then hell with sweep picking, like even now you get Dying Fetus doing sweep picking sections.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, what was funny, we Incant opened up for them on a tour, and I would always warm up or something, during sound check or something. And I remember the guitar player coming up to me, he goes, "Hey man," and I go, "What's up, buddy?" He goes, "Did you ever hear this guy named Michelangelo Badio?"
Oh,
and I was like,
oh,
and I go, yeah. I says, "Why?" And he goes, "Man, you sound just like the motherfucker."
Oh, John Gallagher being a silly goof, as I expect.
Yeah, it was cool. But then when he, halfway through the tour stuff, he started showing up early to sound check, and he would start practicing licks and stuff like that too. He's like, "Dude, you gotta get me back into it, man." And I was just like, "Oh yeah, that's cool."
Yeah,
it was.
And John's a hell of a player in his own right, even if he's riff master.
Yeah, they're all good guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, I might actually have to tell him that, since I am seeing Dying Fetus in October, and I'm about to bite the meat grid, so I might have to tell him that.
Yeah, see if he remembers. Just say, "Hey, you know that guitar shredder from Incantation back in the day?"
Right.
Yeah, but that's crazy. With like the sweep picking and all that stuff. But I was actually curious too, because one other guitar technique I'm always fascinated with is tapping. Like whenever guitarists tap, like I think if my memory serves me correctly and chronologically, I could be a bit certain things, but if I'm not mistaken, I think the very first like tapping player out there was like Steve Hackett from Genesis. Like, because I can remember like interviews. Yeah, like I think like he did an interview years ago where he was talking about trying to play a line of toccata and fugue on a song on Nursery Crime, I think, and he thought, well, how about I just do it all on one string, and he came up with tapping. And I mean, you look at guitar players now that have picked up on the tapping, like Eddie Van Halen was known for tapping, and he would flat out say, "Oh yeah, my biggest influences were Tony Iommi and Steve Hackett. Those were my guys when it came to playing."
Yeah, the tapping actually came from even way before that. A jazz guy was doing it on acoustic guitar. I think back in the 30s and 40s, he was the one that actually started doing it. But he wasn't doing the getting it to rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was more or less kind of hitting the chords out. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know how bass players do that? They'll tap those chords out. It was a little bit more like that, So
yeah,
or as I say, slap the bass.
Yep, yeah, kind of like that technique. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ricky's our resident guitar player out of our group, whereas I'm more of a drummer. But
and I'm a vocalist. I'm kidding.
There you go.
No, I'm kidding.
No.
Don't sell yourself short.
I think you.
Hey Tristan, you might think Tristan, you may think you're no slouch, or you might think you're not a slouch. Don't sell yourself short, Tristan. You're a tremendous slouch.
Just do the.
I don't think my asthma can really handle it per se. But actually, speaking of guitar playing, who got you into playing guitars? Who was some of your biggest influences?
Well, I started at 11, and I wanted guitar lessons for my birthday. So I started at 11, and then my parents would always blast like Jimi Hendrix, and my mom brought home an Alice Cooper fucking record. I think it was Love It to Death, 1973. Yeah. So I'd be like 4 or 5 years old, jumping on the bed to Alice Cooper. I'm just the greatest thing in the fucking world. But so there was always music constantly going, dude. The stereo never shut off. You know what I mean? At when I was little, so I got guitar lessons, and then I didn't really get my shit together till the movie Crossroads came out. And
really,
yeah. And then when that movie came out, because my parents came home with a VCR, and we didn't know what the fuck a VCR was at the time. and this
Neither does
VHS
kids
tape.
today.
Yeah,
Right.
and a VHS tape, and it had the Karate Kid on it. I just knew it was a Karate Kid with a guitar, So we started watching it, and then the end battle where he battles with Steve Vai and Ralph Macchio, the devil part, and I was like, it was just like music school, jazz school, classical guitar school, anything I could get my hands on, I just fucking, you know what I mean? But I basically started with Yngwie, you know what I mean? I liked the neoclassical thing at the time, because it was those first 3 albums that I was exposed to. And then when my friend came back from GIT, that's when Racer X came in, and I found out about Shrapnel Records. And then I found out about Jason Becker and Marty Friedman, and you heard the harmonies on the Cacophony stuff. I mean, that shit's just crazy, So Tony McAlpin, just all those type of guys. And then man just went from there, so and just did all that stuff, But it just I just played with tons and tons of people, man. But nobody was into that type of music. They were just into the Motley Crue and Tesla and
those hair metal acts and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of like I would try and do stuff, and at the time I didn't know I had this unique style of everything being odd meters. So people would always like, dude, you're either 1 too late or 1 too short. And I was like, well, no, this is how I'm feeling it. You know what I mean? And I didn't know how to explain it to anybody. So I actually took drum theory to where I could, instead of me going, no, that don't sound right, I wanted to actually count how they counted measures and all that stuff. And once I got that, man, it was just, the communication was just so much better, I mean, even with flow, hey, this one part right here, that's, 9, 8, and 7. I like, oh yeah, I know what part you're talking about, Oh, that's 8th note to a triplet, I could sit there and communicate with him so much more easier. And it just flowed, you know what I mean? It's just with Incan, it would be like, I don't know, dude, I just play. That's how.
Yeah.
They didn't know anything like that.
You flowed with flow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could definitely hear like Steve Vai-isms in your guitar playing, like that big like neoclassical style to it.
Yeah, a lot of the tremolo bar stuff, Steve Vai, Jason Becker, there. Dude, actually, a lot of the really shreddy runs and stuff like that, those were really influenced by a keyboard player, Chick Corea, this jazz keyboard player. So people always ask me, how do I get that constantly fluid sound? It's actually saxophone and keyboard solos I learned. You know what I mean? Because they have a different way of moving than a regular guitar scale, So that's how I would get that really fluent sound, you know what I mean, towards that kind of choppy a little bit. But I just listen to so much music, man. It's fucking crazy,
Yeah. But actually, now I wanted to shift gears a little bit towards rhythm guitars, because like for me, I always love like when a guitarist always has like a great rhythm package, which is why, like, a great riff writer. And of course, like, we all always credit Tony Iommi as the greatest riff writer of all time, despite his handicap with his fingertip.
The riff god.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With a very close second being, in my personal opinion, James Hetfield. Just because, like I always, like, we always often talk about, like, virtuoso players, like Yngwie, Satriani, Eddie Van Halen, Steve Vai, and all sorts of stuff. The closest to a guitar virtuoso, I feel like, in terms of rhythm playing, would be Hetfield, just for the simple fact, I watched clips of him from back then, where he's playing, like, Creeping Death at almost double speed, downpicking the entire time, and I've tried to downpick on guitar at a high pace. I can't do it.
It's gonna...
James Hetfield always said the picking hand has to be the drummer. Your
Right.
picking hand is the drummer. And that's funny you say that, because when he said that, I was like, he's right. You know what I mean? It's just totally, my picking hand is the drummer, So, I would definitely say, Hetfield. There was another, the earlier albums of Testament, Eric was it
Eric
Peterson?
Skolnick and Peterson, yeah.
I thought his rhythm playing was really tight on the first few Testament albums and stuff like that. I seen them in concert, and he had that down picking too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they played Disciples of the Watch.
Oh yeah,
or something. And I was just like, I was like staring at him. I'm like, holy fuck, man, But then we were at a NAMM together, and we were talking at the Kaler booth or whatever, and I was like, oh, dude, Alex Skolnick and all that stuff, and I says it kind of inspired me to be a lead guitar player, but good rhythm too. And he goes, well, I hate to tell you something. I go, what's that? He goes, I play all the rhythm tracks on all the albums. And I go, oh. And I was like, for real? And he goes, yeah. He goes, Alex just does the harmonies and the leads and stuff like that to keep it, tight and consistent, But I never knew that, So at the time, it was kind of like, oh man, for real, just kind of bummed me out a little bit, but.
And you could say kind of the same when it comes to like Hetfield and Hammond. Like Hetfield would do all the rhythm because he's a stronger rhythm player. Granted, people got to give credit to Hammond where it's due. He had to keep up with Hetfield live, to play that fast down picking as well.
Right.
Same with Skolnick with Peterson. Like obviously live, it's going to be a lot different than when you're doing it in the studio where you can do all these techniques. But I
really focused on. You actually brought it up in your review, the Forgotten Kings, the main riff. You called it. I think you called it a chainsaw type guitar riff.
Yeah.
But I really was focusing on that riff of just tightness. You know what I mean? So it was just fluid and fucking tight right there. But it took me a while to get that riff down, man. That was a tough one to get it clean like that, But
But funny enough, but back more talking about like like Hetfield and such. I always debate with, especially our buddy Hunter, and then of course Necrotic Nick whenever he's on our streams on occasional Sundays. We always seem to find ourselves in a Metallica debate in some way, shape, or form because I'm the biggest Metallica fan out of our group of friends for the simple fact they were the first metal band I got into when I was a wee lad, and they'll always remain my favorite band of all time.
Wrong way, Ricky.
No matter where, no matter what happens.
Right.
But I always even debate in my brain because, like, Dave Mustaine coming out of Metallica before Megadeth happened. And I always debate in my head who's the better. That's a new word. Better. I'll bither your ass to the ground, boy. But who's the better rhythm player between Mustaine and Hetfield? Because they were both at the same time coming up with these thrash downstroke techniques that they obviously took inspiration from the Ramones. Ramones really kind of pioneered like super fast down picking and punk, and they were like, well, how about we take that but also mix in our love of Iron Maiden. And so they came up with their own style of downpicking as fast as possible, or at least make it sound aggressive. But I always often debate in my head who is the stronger rhythm player. Like taking solos out of the equation, because like Mustaine, great lead player in his own right, whereas Hetfield doesn't do very many leads. In fact, if you were to ask me what's a Hetfield solo, the first one that would come up into my head would be the first lead on Master of Puppets. It was a lot more melodic and more pretty sounding, and it was a great lead, but obviously compared to Mustaine, it's not fair. So I always look at, okay, strictly riffs and rhythm. They're so close because they were both developing at the same time within Metallica. But I would always say, especially nowadays, I lean more towards Hetfield because when it comes to downpicking, it's like you don't really see Mustaine do downpicking stuff anymore. Like he's going all alternate or tremolo, whereas Hetfield still got that downstroke at a high tempo. But
Mustaine was always like one to get the more technical flair too.
Get a little more progressive, a little more technical out of it, whereas Hetfield was just all about like let's just write fast, heavy, memorable riffs.
Yeah, that's a tough call. I mean, especially with. I would lean towards Hetfield a little more, but when Peace Sells first came out,
yes,
that rhythm playing on that really was a game changer for a lot of people my age then, you know what I mean? Because everything was Ride the Lightning and Masters of Puppets and all that stuff. And then Peace Sells came out and everybody was like, whoa, you know what I mean? So it was kind of tough, but then what was it after that with Holy Wars on it?
Oh, Rest in Peace.
Yeah,
Rest in Peace.
That album came out, so it was still like, oh man, because dude, it was the same thing 30 some years ago. People, Halford and or not Halford, Hetfield and Mustaine, But I mean, seeing Hetfield live, that down picking is just, it's a drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course we even jokingly debated last week, like, but it always comes back to Lars. I know it does, but of course people say what they want about Lars. We all have, but like hell, you even find like it's going back to Hetfield. He's more than just a singer and guitar player. He's a drummer himself, and he's pretty good. Like I've seen like I don't know if you've seen them before, Sonny, but like clips of like them rehearsing in the late 2000s where it's just Rob, Kirk, and Hetfield in the room together, and Hetfield's playing drums, and he's doing some cool turnovers and grooves and shit. I'm like, well, might as well let Hetfield do the drums. I've seen some
videos, I've seen some videos of him playing,
Yeah, which is incredible how he's a multi-instrumentalist and pretty solid at all of it. Definitely more guitar and singing.
He's probably thinking of like a guitar too when he's,
probably.
Oh yeah.
All that stuff.
Oh yeah. But actually, earlier when you were showing us the Halo guitars, and I was asking about the scalloped frets, like I'm always curious to hear about like what would you say are perhaps some of the advantages and disadvantages of playing on a scalloped fretboard guitar?
It just grips your hand more, especially live, because if I play on a regular fretboard, dude, I run right off the fucking thing. I can't play on a regular fretboard, and a couple times, my guitars got lost. They got shipped to Africa or something, and we had a tour, European tour, so I had to use John's BC Riches, and the body shape, I wasn't used to those, whatever they're called, birds or, whatever the weird shapes are.
Yeah.
So I wasn't used to that because, I always played high up. Well, now these guitars are like this, not, here. But dude, I kept running off the fretboard, man. I had a hell of a time on a regular fretboard, but it's just control, and then you could really get a nice violin vibrato out of them, make the strings really, really sing, so it's just way more, at least for me. I mean, I've been playing scallop fretboards since, I was 15 years old. And it's funny because there's a local music store here, Markham's Music. They haven't been around in like 25, 30 years. But there was the Yngwie Malmsteen on the wall. And, here I am, this little kid, and I'd look up at it. Wow, I put that thing on layaway. It was in layaway for 2 years. I shoveled snow and mowed grass. And the owner said, okay, we'll put it in layaway for 2 years because I know you're going to show up every week with a payment. So that was my first, and he even said, once you go scallop, you'll never go back. And I never did.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because I was always curious about that because like I've heard some guitarists say like, yeah, it's cool to have scallop fretboards, but I guess when you're trying to do like big chords, it can be a little bit strange, especially when you're
for people who aren't used to it. Yeah, people who aren't used to it will bend their chords right out of tune. You know what I mean? And because you don't need, with your chords, you don't need that massive grip. You know what I mean? As much. You could save some energy. So I would always save the energy for the right hand, to play tighter or faster or whatever the case may be, because at the time I was just on this kick, the gain on the amp, I just kept rolling it off more and more and more and more. Then all of a sudden it was getting too fucking clean, you know what I mean? So I have to roll it back, I was just obsessed with, playing as clean as possible, it's just, because I don't play with any effects or anything, no delays or reverbs or stereo course pedals or anything. I mean, here and there, if the song calls for it, you know, if it's an effect thing. But as far as like the main solos or anything, dude, it's as dry as it possibly could be, you know, because I'm not into guitar players that use that delay to make them sound 16 times faster than what they really are. You know?
Right.
You know, I mean, they stop playing and you hear, you know what I mean? So you're adding 3 more notes in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're sitting there blazing a riff like, and you have those extra 2-3 notes. They're filling in the gap.
Yeah.
So you take that away and plug some of these guys in on an old school fucking 80s Marshall. They're not going to sound like
right.
that. I guarantee they're not. You know?
Yeah, because like I've seen Carl Sanders, like I said, playing with Scallop for himself, like watching the documentary where Niall recorded those who asked, and I saw it, and it was so weird, like the opposites between Carl and Dallas Toller Wade, whereas Dallas, I think he was playing like a normal Scallops, or not, Carl's playing Scallop, but yet they sound so tight together whenever they were playing. I'm like, man, it's like, it makes me wonder how they're able to make that work and still sound very, very tight together. I would have assumed one playing Scalloped with the way you're playing chords with it versus like a normal fretboard where it's, I guess, to some players easier to do. No bends or nothing like you brought up earlier. Yet they somehow managed to make it work, and that was always fascinating.
Yeah, some guys just gel, you know, really good together, you know, and it works, you know. And then some guys don't gel together, and it has a noisy sound to it, no matter how much they rehearse or whatever, you know. I mean, I ran into that live with Incan massively because them guys would pick, you know, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, which is a very relaxed type speed picking thing. Well, I was always trying to get, you know, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So we started getting this wobbly sound a little bit, you know. So I would actually have to slow down, you know, by picking and adjust to get it, you know, to try and get it to match, you know. But if you have 2 guitar players that are, dude, in sync and dialed in and everything, I call it the Predator helicopter effect. And you're so tight to where you have that helicopter. When the band hears that on stage, that means, dude, you can't be any more tighter than that. So I remember one time we got off stage. John was like, dude, there's too much fucking helicopter going on.
To the chopper!
Yeah, you know, but oh yeah, but because you can hear it, you know. You know. Yeah, I'll never forget that. You know? But there's another story real quick. We were up in Canada, and I talked them into putting in their writer to have PV 5150s because they didn't have a writer at the time. Every night was a different head. I was like, dude, we got to have the same head so we know how to work the fucking things. You know what I mean? And we could dial in a sound that we have a consistent sound every night. Okay, cool. So we're playing Canada. The heads didn't show up yet, so this opening band says you could use our heads for sound check. I'm like, oh, cool. And they're like old school Marshalls, like JCM 800 or something, you know. So I plug in and I'm jamming it, and I was like, God damn, this thing actually sounds really fucking good, right? So the guy was like, you sure you want to switch heads or whatever? I was like, well, we rented them. We might as well switch heads or whatever, you know. So John's playing on the Marshall, you know, he's bitching up a storm. Oh, fuck, well, you know, it's sounding like shit. I actually got blamed for having special electronics in my guitars because every amp that I plugged into sounded good. I was just like, what? It's the same.
What?
Yeah. I was like this. I was like, dude, these are 81 EMG. You have an 81 EMG. We both had Kaler tremolo systems. We both had mahogany wood bodies. There's nothing different except for the guitar player. You know what I mean? That was all that it was, you know? But yeah, I'll never forget that story. That was funny.
Actually, speaking of stories, do you have like any funny or crazy like tour or like festival stories?
Yeah,
I was just about to.
Those are always fun.
Right.
The festivals are actually really stressful and a pain in the ass.
I bet.
They look cool.
I can imagine.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's like, oh wow, look at this, you know. But here's the thing with the festival. Every festival that I played, dude, Hellfest, what else was there? Obscure, or no?
Vodka, Grass Bomb.
Obscene Extreme.
That's it.
Brutal
yeah,
Assault.
Okay. Yeah. When you're setting up, you know, because they have to do a changeover, you know. And it was like this, oh, hey, bro, what do you need? Oh, some water. Oh, great, man. You sound great. Oh, you need help with your cables, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, man, this is like royal treatment. I'm not used to this shit, right?
Right.
As soon as we were done playing, hurry up, get the fuck off the stage. Hurry up. I remember the guy grabbing all my cables and just throwing them off to the fucking stage. And I turned around, I was like, where the fuck's all my fucking gear? Because they're such in a hurry that niceness is gone. They're just throwing your gear off the fucking stage. You know what I mean? But that was my experience with festivals, man. You know, and it was like this. You got up there, we were in front of like 80,000 people, and it was like this. We're done. Like a light switch. I was like, we're done already? It didn't even seem like we played 4 songs. You know.
Wow. Have you ever had any like crazy fan interactions or fan interactions that they stick with you?
What's that?
Have you ever had it like fan interactions that they stick out that you're like, okay, you're probably under the influence or some other type of thing?
I had a Steve Vai wah-wah pedal, a noise gate, and another pedal in front of me because some of their songs had wah in it. And we were playing France, and we were playing in this bomb shelter, right? So the stage was maybe like, dude, I swear to God, maybe that much higher than the audience, you know what I mean? So the guys up front with these 2 pitchers of fucking beer, right? You know, and I'm rocking out. Next thing I know, my sound cut out. I was like, what the fuck? So I looked down. He ripped his shirt off and he's trying to soak up all the beer that spilt on my pedals.
Oh.
So, I picked the pedal up and the beer's just rolling out of it, dude.
No.
Yeah, I actually have the wall pedal right here in front of me. But it was like, it was just pouring out, man. And it was like, oh my fucking God, you know? So I'm like shaking, I'm trying to get the beer out. I put them all back together and they fucking work. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did he at least buy you a beer afterwards? At least for the trouble?
Yeah, he was apologizing so bad. I had, what was it? One guy, he got up on stage to stage dive and his foot wrapped around my pedals.
Oh no!
And my pedals went out into the fucking crowd. And he had a couple people holding, like trying to put them back up on stage for him.
Oh my God!
Yeah, there was that one, and then this other guy, he was like, this was in LA. I remember this. He's like stretching over the stage with his cell phone. He was trying to take a pictures of the tube screamer I had at the time. It was actually this pedal here.
Oh,
and he's leaning. I'm like looking. I looked down. I was like, dude, do you want me to take that picture for you? And he was like, could you? So in the middle of the song, I'm still playing. I reach over and grab his phone, and I hit him.
Like, click.
Yeah,
there you go.
Dude he thought that was the coolest fucking thing in the world. He was like, dude, you didn't miss a fucking note, bro. And I was just like, but he's like stretching, trying to like, grab a fucking picture of it.
Come on. I just want to see this.
But dude, there's one horror story. We were jamming with this French band. And dude, they didn't bathe for weeks and weeks.
Oh no!
And they played up before us, so we're getting ready to go on. They're done, and I go up there, and dude, it was in a the hot theater venue, whatever, and it smelled so bad, right? I get up on stage, I was like this. I ran out the back of the theater, dude. I'm puking, and they're fucking calling for me because the intro's running. And I'm not on stage. I couldn't stop fucking puking. I'm like, so I finally come out. My eyes are like bulging out of my fucking head. I'm gasping for air. Everybody knew that I was throwing up. You know what I mean? So finally we had to tell the tour manager that they had the fucking bathe, man. It was so fucking bad, man. I can't remember who they were, but dude, they went 3 weeks, I think, without a shower.
Oh my god!
At least put on some deodorant and smell good
use
on
baby
dude.
wipes at least.
Dude, the Lysol. I was spraying so much Lysol in the tour bus that I set the alarm off. The tour bus driver,
like
the bus was on fire.
Could you imagine a band touring for 3 weeks, not bathing, showering, deodorant, and want to get lucky that night? How do you think the fucking chick is gonna be like?
Oh,
nope,
God.
I'm not touching that with
I don't want to taste must.
Dude, what was funny is they were getting girls because they'd be in the back of the bus with some of these girls. I'm like, how the fuck are they even? What the fuck? I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Enjoy the affections, boys.
Yeah.
E. coli.
Oh,
yeah.
God,
I remember one guy. He looked right at me. He was like, "Dude, I can't remember the last time I took a fucking shower." And I was like,
God.
"Probably about fucking 4 weeks ago, dude." You know.
But then again, if they're in France, you can just throw yourself in the fucking river. There, at least take the fucking shampoo.
Yeah.
You know, shit. Hand me the Irish Spring while you're at
just now remembering. I'm remembering those.
I'll never forget that. Man.
Yeah, I'm now remembering the story Zach Wilde told about like how he one time went on a tour, didn't shower or do anything for like 6 weeks.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Like, and especially when taking pictures with his arms out like this with the vest, and these two chicks had the look on their face like.
Oh yeah. Well,
and as that goes, and then they just melted.
What it is, these guys don't want to spend money on the fucking truck stop showers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh no, because they're trying to save every fucking dime possible to come home with fucking money.
Yeah.
I was like, no, dude. I could go maybe 2-3 days, but dude, loading gear, stage, sweating. It just. I was like, no, I'll pay for the fucking truck stop showers. Man.
Yeah. Don't mix the funk. Don't mix the funk,
otherwise it's gonna get bad. But like the longest I've ever gone without showering, and it was because of bad circumstances, was like maybe 5-6 days, and that was when I was on a vacation with my father, my brothers, and a bunch of guys they were working with because they were doing like cable work over in the beaches of North Carolina. Most of the first half of the year, they were not even home. They were over in North Carolina at a beach house, working on cable construction. So I ended up staying with them for a week, and this was right after I got out of 10th grade. So the beach house they had was an old, like, run-down dump, essentially. Like, it was, like, the water was brown. It was bad. So I only took one shower in that beach house, and I'm like, I'm done after that. And I came back home, I felt so bad, and by the time I got in my shower right over there, I'm just like, oh, this is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
But that was only because I didn't trust the water in that fucking place.
Yeah.
It was so
we
bad.
would have, there was a shower on the buses,
Yeah.
But they would get so much beer that they were piling the fucking beer in the shower.
To store
and
it.
the showers are just like basically, shoulder to shoulder, these dinky little things. So I started giving all the beer away to the fucking guys outside waiting for autographs and stuff. I started, hey, you guys want a case of beer, man? Oh, fucking great, because I was always the first one up in the morning. I'd ask the tour bus driver. I was like, hey, did you get water? And he goes, oh yeah. So I would shower on the tour bus. Those guys wouldn't do it, man. Yeah. They're like, hey, where's all the beer keep going? I was like, you guys drink it all.
Maybe.
You have to sneakily, you guys just drink them all. That's why they're gone.
Like, what the I did that with this.
Magically disappeared.
Yeah, we had this fucking merch girl, and she bought two 12-packs, and she got drunk, passed out, and she left me hanging fucking while I was loading the merch. She took off, sat all the boxes by the door. All right, I gotta go. And I was like, well, no, you gotta help me get this fucking merch in the trailer. No, I gotta go deposit and all this shit. So next thing I know, everybody's like, dude, look. And she was like sneaking underneath the cars like this, so I wouldn't see her. And we watched her. Here she had 2 fucking 12-packs, right? I was like, I was like, she's gonna fucking pay for that, right? So she got fucking drunk, right? So I took all her beer, poured it all out, smashed the cans outside them all, put them all around and around her bunk and everything. She goes, I know I had another 12. I was like, no, you drank it all, man. You're passed out. It was so fucking funny, man.
Wow.
Easy. I think I might know who that chick was because I watch a lot of digital Tougas videos from time to time where they do. Was that the tour you guys did with Pete?
Yeah, she was on that tour.
Yeah, I remember because I watched. I think it was her and John doing the Bus Invaders thing, and I'm thinking, oh god. And then like I guess John brought up how like there was like pizza boxes stacked up to the fucking ceiling.
Oh yeah, dude, I kept spraying so much fucking. She got sick, and then she started getting everybody sick because we were sharing the bus with hate, right? So everybody started getting sick, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I bought the Lysol. So every time she coughed, I'd be like, right?
keep your
then
shit
I would
away
douse
from
myself, right? Dude, she's on the floor fucking hacking. She was like, God damn it, Sonny. I can't fucking breathe. Right? She'd be like, I'd be like,
oh, poor girl.
Breathe, woman, breathe.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
anytime someone coughed on that fucking band mic, and I'd just be like, yeah.
Holy crap.
But I didn't get sick, though. Everybody
good.
Got sick, me, man,
Good,
you know?
Good.
Yeah. But she was a cool person, man. You know, it was just all fun. It was just all fun, you know.
But actually, getting back to like guitar gear stuff, I'm not sure if you've watched Ola England on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, like I love his videos because like he brings a lot of humor to it, but also very knowledgeable about gear.
Yeah, my favorite Chug, right? Will Chug.
Yeah, Will Chug. And because I remember like watching videos where he demonstrate like different tone pedals, how good stuff he had. Right. And of course, probably my two favorite pedals he explored with the Boss Metal Zone, and of course, one of our favorite tones in death metal, the old Boss HM2, from Sweden. So I was watching these videos, and I'm like, man, part of me wants to get these pedals just to have as mementos.
Oh
just because they're real cool, especially the HM2, because like just like Necrotic Nick, he and I were both HM2 sluts because we just love that sound of the buzzsaw tone on top of death metal, like Bloodbath and Tomb, Dismember, you name it, they've done it. But like seeing like the different sounds you get with that pedal on whether you're playing on a channel or an overdrive channel. And part of me likes it on the clean channel more because it doesn't sound as gainy. Like that's always a kind of a pet peeve I have with some of the bands that use the HM2 tone on overdrive channel. Sometimes it just sounds too gainy where it's like, man, I don't know if my ears are going to recover. It's like if they could just sort that out a little bit, that would be cool. But like on the clean channel, it sounds super fucking heavy and chunky. Like I'm like, stick to the clean channel more or whatever. But then when Ola did the Metal Zone, he did it in a way that I had no idea because I know nothing about like gear and amps and heads and whatnot. But when he was demonstrating on his Randall Satan amp that has an effects loop on the back, he was playing the Metal Zone, connecting it to the effects loop on the clean. And he always says that pedal has a bad rep. And I think now I understand why, is because people were just probably plugging it into a bad clean channel when trying to play, because when he was playing it sounded fucking heavy. Like I know
we did Deicide was using those pedals with Mesa Boogie heads, and they ran the clean channel with those pedals. And I think that would have been what the fuck album was that? Serpents of the Light?
Yeah.
I think that was they used it on that album, I think. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, man. It would just rip your fucking head off, man, you know, when they're playing. Yeah. It was definitely
speaking of bands, though, what were some of your favorite bands to tour with? Like, who were guys that you got along with during tours?
Oh, I mean, dude, I got along with everybody except for my own band. That was it. I think the first big band that we toured with when I was back in Incantation was Bolt Thrower.
Bolt
yeah,
Thrower.
Those guys, they were all cool, dude. We talked guitar till God morning, you know what I mean? But even the same thing though, I would always show up early for sound check, and I remember bolt thrower standing over there with their management and everything. They're just like, "Hey, mate, are you at the wrong bloody gig?" You know, but they're like, "What are you doing here? You don't, you know, what are you doing with these guys? The way you play, you know what I mean?" And I was like, "Oh, it was a gig, and you know, at the time they're bros of mine, you know, whatever." But I'd say bolt thrower was kick ass. Belphegor was fun to tour with. You know, they even said the same thing. You're in the wrong boat, dude. Almost every big band we toured with, they all said the same thing.
Right.
It's just like, dude, you need to go do your own thing. You're too held back. Dying Fetus was cool. The only bands that I didn't get along with was, and it was only one guy, Dark Funeral. Lord, we called him Lord Mike because we found out his real name was Mike. It was the one guitar player, fucking Lord something, I can't remember. But I used to yell backstage while they're playing, "Yo, fucking Lord Mike, man, bring that fucking shit, Lord Mike," right? So their drummer, he opens up the curtain like this, and he's just laughing. No. He goes, and he's like, "Dude, that is so fucking loud. People in the front row can fucking hear it." But you know, and it we just, I went up to, I was like, "Hey, great show." I went to shake his hand. He wouldn't shake my hand. I said, "Oh, maybe he didn't hear me or something." You know what I mean? The next day, is like, "Hey, guy sounded great." Tried to fist bump him. You know, third time, it was maybe a couple of days went by, and I tried talking some gear with him or something like that, and he just fucking waved me off, and I was like, "Oh, fuck this dude," you know. So, but the rest of the guys were cool as fuck. You know, so
Lord Araman.
Yeah, that sounds it. Yeah. Well, it's Lord Mike now.
Michael Sponsberg.
You know, who else was there? Marduk. Everybody was really cool in that band.
I remember Marduk's a fun time.
Yeah,
like
the singer was
if you talk to Morgan.
Yeah, the guitar player was great, dude. I mean, I talked to him forever, and the bass player at the time, and I actually introduced them to Chef Boyardee ravioli cans because they were bitching about how expensive the food was in the U.S. You know what I mean? Because in the U.S. you don't get catering. So I bought a case of Chef Boyardee, and it was cheap. You know what I mean? So I'd sit there after the show, and they're like, "Hey, what is that?" And I was like, "Oh, Chef Boyardee, man, get you guys some again." So they were eating that the whole fucking tour. You know what I mean? They actually sent me an email saying, "Hey, dude, thanks, dude, for the Chef Boyardee." You know what I mean? But we used to trade like flavors and stuff like that. But everybody in that band was really cool, except for the singer. He had a little bit of an attitude problem.
Mortis,
But Deicide was cool. Cannibal was cool. Dude, everybody was cool. I never really ran into a fucking dickhead, you know. As long as I was in the band, everybody was always cool, you know. Always.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, what are some of the bands you wish you could have toured with, or bands that you almost toured with, but for certain circumstances, it never happened?
Well, actually, I toured with everybody I wanted to tour with. I always wanted to tour with Morbid Angel. I always wanted to do Cannibal. I always wanted to do Obituary. I always wanted to do, actually, Behemoth. We never got to play a tour with Behemoth. And I met those guys at a festival, and I just thought they're very cool fucking guys, man. You know, we were just happened to be at the tent for catering at the same time, talk to them. So I would say them probably, you know. Everybody else, I always wanted to do a show with you know, the old school dudes, you know, Morbid and Obituary and stuff like that. Got to do that, so I was just, you know, I was fucking a happy camper, man. I was like, fuck, we're opening up for fucking Morbid Angel, man. Fucking, you know, this fucking killer, you know. I'm talking to Trey, and you know, and then I had a Jason Becker shirt on, and Trey's like, "Dude, Jason Becker, man. Oh fuck, blah 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 blah." So me and him hit it off, and I knew a lot of his influences, and that he didn't even tell me, and I says, "I can hear it in your playing, like Mahogany Rush and all these really old 70s guitar players that he was big into." And And he's like, dude, you're the first guy who ever fucking said all my influences, you know. But I could just tell because I'm tuning into his guitar, you know, and I'm kind of his age a little bit, so I could kind of, you know, go up with it, you know. So, but
like you brought up whenever you gave Marduk Chef Boyardee, and I always remember a funny interview Morgan did, where I think he was being interviewed by this old woman who was seemingly into music, and they were in Philly, they were in Philadelphia for this show. Bring it up like Morgan was asking, what are some places to get to eat around here? Oh, we got this Philly cheesesteak restaurant by a guy Tony Luke. Oh, we may hit that up. That sounds really good. Yeah. I'm like, I would love to interview Morgan one day just to kind of pick his brain about, like, because from what I see him in the interviews, he's like very, very respectful and very polite to whoever it is.
Oh, yeah,
Someone like me or an older woman. It's like, man, who wouldn't want a guy like this in your band?
Yeah,
even if he came out of
he's pretty laid back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, and a phenomenal player.
We were watching a World War II documentary or something together on the tour bus. That dude could name every fucking tank, every machine gun, where it was fucking made. He could tell you the different helmets, the designs. That guy's knowledge on
the Aussie?
You know, World War II stuff is just unbelievable. You know, he could even tell you that the shells that the certain tanks could do. You know what I mean? Oh, that's a fucking, you know, whatever millimeter. This is that. And this. I'm like, holy fuck, man. You know, it was crazy. His knowledge on that stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
Well, Martin's always kind of had that like World War II kind of like.
Oh yeah.
There.
He's big into that, man. He's huge into that stuff, man. You know, we played a joke on him one time.
Oh no!
he had a little pedal board. There was like 3 pedals on there. So we took duct tape and we taped it up so bad that it just looked like a roll of fucking duct tape.
Oh.
Yeah, he got on the bus. He goes, "Some motherfuckers duct taped my fucking entire pedal board." Yeah. Yeah, I won't forget that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
But again,
Sonny!
you're bringing Chef Boyardee to them. Like, if I was somehow, some way on a tour bus with a band doing whatever, like, I always say, like, let's just go to Trader Joe's and just stock up on frozen pasta, chicken and whatnot, and that's how we'll survive until we can get to a nice restaurant or whatever, because I don't know why I've just become obsessed with Trader Joe's frozen pastas for the past year.
It's tough because it's, you know, dude, sometimes you have 3 bands on a tour bus. You have 25 fucking guys sharing a tour bus. You know, and that's you're talking sound guy, manager,
tech guy.
Merch guy. You know, I mean, if there's 5 guys in each band, that's 15 dudes right there. You know, so, you know, shit would come up missing all the fucking time. You know, people would like, because I always bought fruit. You know, I was older, so I kept buying fruit and vegetables and all that shit. They used to make fun of me, dude. You know, but I remember the one dude looked over at me. He goes, "Dude, I could feel my teeth fucking moving." And I was like, well, dude, you're eating Doritos every night, Slim Jims, fucking drinking Jack Daniels, smoking fucking pot. Your morning breakfast is fucking extra frosting, fucking chocolate, fucking Pop-Tarts. I was like,
no wonder.
How do you think your body's gonna fucking react, dude? You know what I mean? It was just like, you know, he's like, this. My fucking teeth are, you know, and you could see it.
Too much sugar.
Yeah, you could just see it in his hair that he was starting to like not be too healthy. You know what I mean? But
here, try an apple, dipshit.
Oh yeah,
here's a banana. Just don't shove it up your ass and put it in your mouth.
My bananas and everything started coming up missing, and my fruit and everything. You know,
and then strawberry. Don't put it on your pecker.
On the tour buses, you know, everybody has the same red pillow, same red blanket, all that shit. So people would steal your pillow and your blanket for extra fucking blankets and shit. So at the time, I used to bring this giant fucking panda pillow. Because I knew nobody was gonna touch that. Yeah, and then it was funny because at the time my daughter was into Hannah Montana, so I would take her. Yeah, I would take her Hannah Montana blanket and bring that on the tour.
They'd be like, why? Like, imagine Swedish band. We don't want to touch this thing.
We do not touch that.
That's
a
dude, it would be
property.
right on my bunk too. People are like, "What the fuck? Give me this pink fucking blanket."
Oh God!
Dude,
and of course, I grew
funny.
up on Hannah Montana when I was 12. So there you go.
Yeah.
I did too. I was like 6 when that shit came out.
Like, what the fuck?
But it never came out. It never came out missing. You know, I always had
That's
a
true.
fucking pillow, so it worked. It totally
worked out in the end, so you could stay warm and comfortable. In your
You secretly listen to Miley Cyrus?
Yeah,
Who
that was
like,
funny.
whatever. Yeah.
Unless you're Michael Alcafel, you'll probably steal it and sleep well with it.
Yeah, I honestly could see Michael Ockerfeld taking.
Dude, Michael is an anomaly. I swear to God, he is. He listens and likes the most random shit.
or if people watch like live clips from back in the day, like he'll just get really close to the mic like this. Ladies and gentlemen, this next song is about butt fucking. Or like if you watch back, like when Bloodbath first did their first ever live show playing Vok in 2005, when they get the crowd going like, let me hear you scream higher, Danny Filth. Like his stage banter, like my God, and I always say he's one of my heroes now, just not only from music standpoint, but from a personality standpoint, because he just seems like one of the coolest people out there and one of the most hilarious. Like I could listen to him say the most off the wall shit ever.
He is,
and I know Ricky knows this because he actually got to meet Ockerfeld, so but. I know one of these days I would love to have Ockerfeld on this show.
You did get Swano on here. I
did get the halfway victory with Dan Swano on here, so that was something.
I feel
4
if
years
we were getting...
since that interview, and I still don't know what to say.
I feel if we were get Michael on the show, I'll probably do most of the talking, and he'll just be like,
I'll just be like, hi.
Hi.
And then fall back in my chair, faint. Like, although I feel like I'd be more likely with that if somehow, some way we had Hetfield here, which I know will never happen.
Hey, you never know.
You never know.
You did manage to get Chuck Billy on, so.
And that was just through their PR guy messaging me out of the blue. I'm like, sure. But I actually had a really fun question for you, considering we've been talking about guitarists and all this stuff. If you, off the top of your head, had to come up with your own, like, dream supergroup band, qualifiers, vocalist, 2 guitarists, bassist, drummer, and a keyboardist, who would you pick? Out of everybody that you've listened to, and so who can you envision in that musical mind of yours? A really bad supergroup.
Well, that's easy because I already did it. You know, I always wanted to work with Tucker. I thought his vocals were just powerful every night. That dude, even when that dude said he felt like shit, he still sounded like the record. So he was my vocalist that I always wanted to work with since when he first joined Morbid Angel. I just said, wow, it's just powerful. I'd love to do something with that guy someday. And we did. Flo, I knew about Flo from his instructional drum videos before Cryptopsy.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he was doing all these instructional stuff, and that at the time I was getting into drum theory, so I picked up all his instructional stuff and was following him here. I knew of a couple albums, but I never really listened to them. You know what I mean? I didn't get into them till it's got a train on the front of it. I can't think of the album. It's got like a train, and there's a guy sitting on the railroad tracks.
Oh, and then you'll beg.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I bought that album and I thought it was good. Sherinian, I wanted to work with him because I liked he had the band Planet X, He did a lot of crazy other instrumental stuff with this Virgil Donati drummer. That was, I think he was in Planet X2, and so I always liked his keyboard. So that was my dream band. As far as another guitar player, I would Jason Becker. As far as an old school guy, a newer guy, I would say, and I only like his instrumental music. I didn't like all his other bands. Is Jason Richardson?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I like his instrumental stuff.
Yeah,
but as far as like his,
I'm trying to remember the big band. Born of Osiris. That's it.
Yeah, and then he did All That Remains. I think he joined or something.
Yeah,
maybe
All Shall Perish, Chelsea Grin, like a lot of the metalcore, deathcore.
Yeah, see, I wasn't into any of those bands at all. But when he put out a solo album, I was, and the only reason why I found out about the solo album is because Jeff Loomis posted a guest solo, and I said, "Oh, guest solo," and then I didn't know who the name was, so that's how I found him. Yeah. But I like his instrumental stuff. I think it's phenomenal. As far as bass players, I'd have to go with, probably Billy Sheehan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's quite a character too.
Yeah, and with his Dave Lee Roth days, not Mr. Big too much. I wasn't into them. Yeah, that's. There's a couple jazz bass players, but I can't think of their names right now.
I only know of a couple, like Victor.
Yep. Because because the some of the little bass fills that I do on the album, a friend of mine sent me that. He goes, "What the fuck? Did you have Victor Wooten play on the album?"
I'm now pissed I didn't bring him up in the review now, because that makes total sense. That makes total sense.
He goes, those little doo-doo-doo-doo. He goes, dude, that sounds just like him. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was totally listening to him because I'm not a bass player, so I had to do research of how these bass players were playing. So I had to listen to all these guys and, okay, how are they getting these sounds? How are they doing that? Because I didn't want to do everything with a pick. So it took me about 4 months, probably to learn how to do my fingers on some of the parts to make it a smoother sound. So, but yeah, that was heavily influenced by old Vic there. So, but no, yeah, that answers your question.
That would be a crazy.
That sounds like a killer lineup.
Crazy lineup for a super group. Yeah, you and Jason, and Slow, Steve, Derek, like.
Yeah, I just. Oh. I mean, it's just Flo. Yeah, Flo
can do everything.
He can. Really
can. He called me when we were recording. He was recording the last song he recorded was Nine Walls. He called me from the studio, and he goes, "I don't know what to fucking do on this part." And I says, "All right, well, play it for me." So he played it. I was like, "Oh, that's easy." He goes, "What's that?" I was like, "Oh, just do a drum solo."
Just go nuts.
Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, okay." So that's when I'm kind of like. The bass and the guitars like kind of really hold it down, and he's just going crazy. You know what I mean? And he goes, "You like that?" And I go, "Yeah. The more weirder and fucked up it is, dude, I'm gonna love it." You know what I mean? So I was like, as long as we all stop together, we're cool.
Right.
But yeah, I always like asking about like the super big, because it's like across the board with us guys, we can go on a lot of music, but like.
Oh yeah.
If I, off the top of my head, came up with a supergroup that I would personally love from everything standpoint, my drummer of choice is very difficult because I'm always torn between like Mike Portnoy, Dave Lombardozzi,
Pete Sandoval,
and Pete Sandoval. But if I were to go with one, like the one drummer who I think could play every style, I'd probably go Gene, because I mean he has played in tons of bands of different styles, from death metal to thrash metal to prog to metalcore, the whole 9 yards. So I figured he'd be a good drummer pick for my perspective. Bass, I definitely would love to get somebody who's like very versatile in his style. So I would probably go with someone like Alex Webster. probably. Because, I mean, like, plotted science. There you go.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
for keyboards, probably Derek. I would Derek Sher.
Don Airy, I would throw up there too.
Don Airy from Deep Purple, yeah, or even John Lord from Deep. Well,
yeah.
Yeah. And then for guitars, I would have loved to have heard what would have happened if Chuck Schuldiner and John Petrucci something. I think that would have been a hell of a matchup, considering, like, Chuck, I mean, you listen to it on Death albums, they were always beautiful, melodic, and technical, and shreddy. And then Petrucci, same kind of deal, granted, even more technical, but I always would wonder, what would have happened if those two got together? Because obviously Chuck was inspired by Dream Theater on Symbolic, which is my favorite Death album. And then vocals. God, this is the hardest one because I could go Halford, I could go Dickinson, I can go Dio. But I think if I'm going to go with anybody, I'd probably go Rob Halford, personally.
I'd go Halford, yeah.
Because, I mean, like, he can do the lows, he can do the highs, he can do the progressive. Like, this would be, like, my prog metal super group of just all sorts of, like, different backgrounds. I think
and rock can do the more progressive style.
Oh, absolutely. Too. I mean, Dreamer Deceiver, that song alone is like a prog metal song.
Yeah, if you want to hear crazy fucking drumming, dude, there's obviously you probably know him, Richard Christie, that played on that.
Yes.
He had a band.
Ice Earth. Killer fucking drummer.
When I moved to Orlando, 97, he had a band called Burning Inside. Now look that up. It's very hard to find. But that drumming on there is the craziest fucking drumming in the fucking world, dude. Some of the stuff he does on there. And that's how he got discovered from Chuck. As Burning Inside was playing a local bar called the FBI in fucking Orlando, and Chuck showed up and seen him.
Yeah, I see 2 albums.
Yeah, they did 2 albums,
Apparition. I'll have to jam those at some point now, because I do love Richard's drumming on Sound of Perseverance, and then also it adds on top of that, one of the funniest people in metal, too.
Oh, yeah, great guy. He would just put a hose outside the band room and just shower right outside.
And then, of course, there's the long stories he tells about wearing adult diapers while playing on stage.
Well, he did a movie called T-Back. And it's him running around fucking Orlando with a G-string on. And and he put this tattoo on his ass cheek, and that was his power, was the tattoo on his ass cheek. Yeah, because he came over to my house and he was using my little Pekingese dog in his fucking movie. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Peekaboo! I see you.
Yeah. T-Back. If you ever get a chance, look that up, man.
Oh god. It's like I've only known, like, when it comes to movies with Richard, he cameoed, like, a brief, very, very brief cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But more famously, Harold and Kumar escaped from Guantanamo Bay, where he's a KKK guy.
Oh my god, yes.
This one scene in T-Back, this truck was stuck. So he showed up. Back in the day, you could stop the camera and then go stand in it and start it, so it'd be like you appeared. You know what I mean? Real cheesy thing. So he appears with this fucking giant toe chain. He hooks it to the truck, and then he hooks it to the back of his fucking G-string, and he starts to pull the truck out.
Oh god, an indestructible G-string, huh?
Yeah.
That sounds like something out of Jackass or something.
And honestly,
yeah.
Like we would have to get wrestler Mark Henry to wear a big G-string and do that. He could
because he fucking.
Oh god, no.
Yeah,
actually, I just looked up Richard on Encyclopedia Metallic. Apparently, he was on the Howard Stern show at one point.
Oh yeah, he's a regular on Howard Stern.
Yeah, he replaced the dude with the stutter, John Melendez.
Yeah.
And after that, he went to do the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. What the fuck? I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
I've known that forever, that, you'll see him a lot of times on Howard Stern, like, helping out with jokes and whatnot.
Yeah, he left Iced Earth to do that.
He left.
And Iced Earth was pissed off they were fucking pissed off.
Yeah, John was not happy about that.
No.
Yeah.
But
It's too. He was a hell of a drummer for that band too.
Oh yeah, on Horror Show especially. But
Yeah, Horror Show.
God.
But one last thing before we wrap this up. So already with the new Rise from Worms album out there, already thinking about stuff for a second album, perhaps?
There's enough material for another full length easily. As far as might be different musicians, definitely Derek again. You know, I think me and him gelled together really good style wise, as far as harmonies. I don't know. Flo is just so fucking busy with Cryptopsy.
Right, he's got a lot of projects.
And
so,
Ultimates too.
Yeah, and it took 4 years to get the full length out. You know what I mean? Just because of everybody's schedule. You know, so I definitely don't want to wait that long again.
And then with Steve, like, I mean, Morbid Angel has just been kind of.
I would definitely work with Steve again. Yeah, you know what I mean? Definitely. Me and him hit it off good. We laugh, talk, tons of metal, you know what I mean?
I would love to have Steve on here, considering fellow Ohioan like myself from Cincinnati. So I would love to have Steve on the show. If you would like to help us out on that, that would be much appreciated. Because I would love to pick his brain and like maybe talk about Ohio State football if he is a Buckeye. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll find out.
He probably is.
He ought to be, or at least Cincinnati Bearcats fan, because he's born in that area.
Right.
But yeah, that would be a lot of fun. But
and also, if you are gonna have, if you like you say, have enough material for another album, would you oppose of having another guitarist join, or do you think you're comfortable
we
with
brought that up because me and Steve agreed to do some. We want to do some touring. He doesn't want to go out very long. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he wants to make sure, you know, because we're both older, you know, and stuff like that. You know, he was like, we both agreed we can't do a van tour. You know, we're just too old, man. You know, it probably fucking wouldn't be able to pick us up out of there. You know, but if we could get it, you know, comfortable, you know, a bandwagon or tour with another guy on a tour bus or you know something along that line. You know, But you know, he wants to go out for a little bit, and then, you know, when he didn't want to go out, I wanted to go out instrumentally, you know, because I was like, well, Marty Friedman's doing it, Animal Leaders is doing it, I'd like to do it, you know.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, we talked about all that and everything. So, that's kind of the main focus right now is to work it out with everybody's schedule, you know. So. I mean, I don't have a problem going, you know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, we're going to go, let's do this, and I'll plan for it, you know? But, you know, Steve has his other projects and you know, stuff like that, and he's busy, so we just got to make it work, you know?
Right.
You know, so, I mean, Flo said he probably wouldn't be able to do the tours because of Cryptopsy's so busy.
Yeah.
So, right. You know, we talked to Derek Roddy about filling in.
Oh, that would be a sweet match.
Yeah, you know,
that would be great.
You know, but he's filling in for Anthrax for when
Charlie,
you know, what's his name's with Pantera.
With the Pantera stuff, Which I did see that. I did see that Pantera tribute tour last year, Charlie and all. They killed.
Yeah. So it's just, you know, it's just the point of, you know, who we're gonna get to, you know, get along with and all that stuff, you know. But I probably wouldn't start recording anything till Christmas, you know what I mean? And like I said, you know, working with the Philharmonic now, I mean, two of the songs that didn't make it because everybody's time schedule, we recorded it with the orchestra, you know. I mean, one's 12 minutes long, you know, and the other one's shorter. It's a little more, like I said, Conan-y. It's a little more shorter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I just took all those ideas, and then when I started working with the orchestra, I was like, well, man, I want to get all these ideas out, you know. So started doing that.
I just thought about a drummer that I think would match up, and that's Hannes Grossman. I think he'd be a good matchup for Rise from Worms, considering he's not an Obscura anymore. think the only band that he's in, like in terms of like regular thing, is Alkaloid, and then I think he's in Eternity's in still, but
yeah, send me his info. Send me his info. I think I know who you're talking about.
yeah, he
Definitely.
used to drum with Obscura, Necrophagus, and he's got his own solo stuff where he actually.
Okay, who's the drummer for Blotted Science? Who's that drummer?
Oh, that's the same one, Hannes Grossman.
Oh, is it the same guy?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's the guy I was thinking. Oh, we got to get him to fill in.
he would be perfect, considering like he does a lot of that same kind of drumming as like Flo. Maybe not doing like the crazy hyper blast like Flo does, but like in terms of speed and technicality, I think he'd be great.
I thought, because I seen him and I was like, man, I liked his drumming. And then a couple other guys reached out that are huge Flo fans, and stuff like that, and I just said, well, we're just looking for someone to fill in because, Flo can't do it, you know what I mean? Type thing, unless it's a festival or something like that, he considered it, but it's just, they're taking off like a missile, man, and that's his main bread and butter. I don't blame him,
Yeah. And especially with those last two Cryptopsy albums. And those are.
Yeah.
That last one in particular.
The last one in particular was.
Yeah.
Oh.
When he was thinking about it, because he's like, well, let me think about it, and he's like, man, this stuff's gonna be fucking crazy to play live, dude.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he goes, this is definitely a lot of work, and every drummer that I have contact, dude, every one of them said they went 3 to 4 months to learn these songs.
I mean, it'd take a lot to get all what Flo did just right for sure.
Yeah, so
yeah,
but we'll see. It's just, at least everything's on the table.
Oh yeah,
that's
it's on
good
the
thing.
table.
Yeah,
it's moving good. The album's doing good. The reviews are really good for us. Obviously you have a couple people who don't understand, but they just don't listen to that kind of stuff. That's all it is.
It's deathcore. It's deathcore.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I tell people, and you have people. One guy go, dude, it sounds like Blotted Science, and I was like, oh, you mean Spastic Inc? Who's Spastic Inc? I go, well, that's basically Blotted Science. It's the same fucking band almost.
kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But so it's just, they're just not exposed to it if they don't listen to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It is.
I mean, I listen to so much fucked up music, man, and especially playing music as long as I have. You're looking for more and more and more and more, you know what I mean? Compared to the person who just goes to the average AC/DC show once in a while, you know what I mean, and doesn't know how to explore, you know what I mean. Oh,
I love all 5 of their songs.
They have 6, okay? They have 6 songs.
Okay, fair.
They have 10, okay?
10.
Well, shit.
You got us there, brother. Yeah,
But yeah, it's just,
yeah.
it's all good. Like when you did the review, and I'm like listening to your review and everything, I could tell that you really listened to it.
Yeah, I had to try and dissect what is happening to my head. Is 2 + 2 4, or is 2 + 2 5?
It's like
no,
the one guy's, the one guy's channel, he's praising the album. This is great, and he was just putting little snippets of the songs, and he goes, these little snippets ain't gonna do justice for this album, and then people just hear that little
and
2 seconds,
and they'd think
it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucks. It's deathcore. Listen to the production. It sounds like deathcore. And I was like, the production sounds like deathcore? I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's... what? I mean, it's not fucking compressed to hell and back. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's more loose and
some people, they want to say something, but they don't know what to say, so they just got to say it sucks.
Yeah, it's like they can't.
I like to call those rage baiters.
Yeah, rage baiters. That's what it is.
Think of this though. I said this a long time ago. Have you ever really heard a guitar player, bass player, drummer, whatever, who could really play, ever sit back and say that fucking sucks, or rips on another musician?
Right.
I never really heard.
Yeah.
Out on the road, you know what I mean? I'll just hear, well, I don't like that, you know what I mean? I mean, if I don't like something, I just won't listen to it. I'm not going to go on their Facebook or Instagram and go, man, this fucking blows. Blah, blah. I just would never do that. If I don't like it, it just wasn't for me,
Right.
type thing.
Or that could have been a little bit better. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Or just be careful with a certain fan base, and you say, "Well, it could have been better," and they'll be like, "No, fuck you! It's the greatest thing in the world. You suck. You have no right to say anything."
Sleep token. What?
Oh God, I didn't want to say it, but okay.
I knew
You
exactly
were gonna
what
take,
talking about.
yeah, you were gonna take the ball on that one. Okay, I got you. I got you, kid. I got you, kid.
Steal my fucking thunder.
As always.
Oh, come on.
But yeah, this was one of the most fun episodes I think we've ever done of the show. Like, holy crap!
Oh, cool, man.
And hell,
Good to laugh.
Yeah, and of course the energy you have totally matches the humor we have to the point where we ought to have you as like a regular on like my streams where we just talk metal and do brackets about like metal albums from like 2011 or something like that.
Oh yeah, let me know.
That would be totally fun. Like
yeah.
we don't do them every week like we used to. We kind of now do every couple of weeks to kind of take breaks.
No, let me know. Yeah, that'd be
I would
great,
love to have
man.
you on for next week's stream. That would be so much fun. Granted, you'll mostly hear this guy and our friend Hunter bicker at each other a lot, but it's fucking hilarious.
You might get to see Nick though again.
And you'll get to talk to Nick again too, because he's on the streams with us.
Oh, is he? Oh, great.
Oh yeah, so you two would catch up on all.
Yeah, cool.
Let
me know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So more than likely next, maybe not that Sunday. Maybe I might do like on a special day. It depends on what else is going on. But it's good.
Okay.
But anyways, so yeah, no doubt about it. And of course, we'll be talking on Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's gonna be cool. But anyways, thank you, Sonny, so much for being on here. Like I said,
thanks.
One of the best, most fun episodes we've done. And for those of you who are watching that haven't checked out the new Arise from Worms, fucking go jam it if you want to listen to some of the best shred metal you've heard in a while. Definitely give it a shot. And I know I still am working on trying to get my CD copy. I just got to find the right place.
No.
Such. It's just finding the right place and all that stuff. Is my main issue. It will happen.
All right.
But anyways, thank you guys also for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And right after we get done with the recording here, I gotta show Sonny's stuff too. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, keep your horns high and your dreams wet.
Yep.
Keep them wet for us.
Metal.